Hello, Raga.
Hey Mahita, what are you doing?
Nothing much, just chilling. What about you?
What should I say? I'm stuck with my research project. I think I'm at a dead end.
Ooh, what's the matter?
I had to get some information from the local government school regarding the teacher student ratio, enrollment rate, and some other aspects as a part of my research. I've reached out to them and requested for the info I wanted. It's been a long time since I requested. Neither did I receive the info, nor my queries regarding it are being addressed. I'm totally clueless what to do now.
Oh, I see. Don't you know about the Right to Information Act?
No, what is it?
Under the Right to Information Act, it is basically your right to seek information from any government agency, and they are bound to give you the requisite information, that too within a certain time frame. The right to information is a fundamental right under Article 19(1) of the Indian Constitution. In 1976, in the Raj Narayan versus the State of Uttar Pradesh case, the Supreme Court ruled that right to information will be treated as a fundamental right under Article 19. The Supreme Court held that in Indian democracy, people are the masters and they have the right to know about the working of the government. The RTI bill was passed by Parliament of India on 15 June 2005 and came into force with effect from 12 October 2005. Thus, the government enacted the Right to Information Act in 2005, which provides machinery for exercising this fundamental right. Since RTI is implicit in the right to freedom of speech and expression under Article 19(1) of the Indian Constitution, it is an implied fundamental right. Recent amendments. The RTA Amendment Bill 2013 removes political parties from the ambit of the definition of public authorities and hence from the purview of the RTA Act. The draft provision 2017, which provides for closure of case in case of death of applicant, can lead to more attacks on the lives of whistleblowers. The proposed RTA Amendment Act 2018 is aimed at giving the Centre the power to fix the tenures and salaries of state and central information commissioners, which are statutorily protected under the RTA Act. The move will dilute the autonomy and independence of CIC. The Act proposes to replace the fixed 5-year tenure with as much prescribed by the government.
Union of India vs Association of Democratic Reforms 2002. In the present case, the court was considering the width and amplitude of the right to information about the candidates contesting election to the parliament or state legislature in the context of citizens' right to vote. The court, in dealing with the issue at hand, held that under the Indian Constitution, electors had the fundamental right to know the information of the candidates contesting the elections to hold public office. The Election Commission was directed to secure affidavits by the candidates recording all particulars relating to past or pending criminal charges or cases against them and inform the public about the information gathered when asked for it. Subhash Chandra Agarwal vs Indian National Congress 2013. In the given case, the complainant had approached the Central Information Commission raising the issue of the disclosure of accounts and sources of funding of 6 leading political parties. In addition, the complainant had also sought for details of promises made by Bharatiya Janata Party in their election manifesto and further details about how many of those promises were fulfilled. However, the parties denied the information sought for by the complainant on the ground that they were not public authorities and therefore the parties were not obliged to provide the requisite information. The court in this case held that the roles played by the parties in a democratic setup and nature of duty that is performed by them portrays public character. Thus, they are bound by the RTI to give information when asked for it. The next case is the Reserve Bank of India vs. Jayanti Lal Mistry 2015. The issue before the court in this case was whether the Reserve Bank of India as well as other banks can deny information sought by the public on the ground of economic interest, commercial confidence, fiduciary relationship with other banks on the one hand and public interest on the other, and if not, what extent can information be provided by the bank under the Right to Information Act 2005? Answering the question in the negative, the court held that the RBI wants to act in the interest of public at large, for it is a statutory duty of the RBI to comply with the provisions of Right to Information Act 2005. Moving on to the next case, Central Public Information Officer, Supreme Court of India vs. Subhash Chandra Agarwal 2019. In November 2009, the Central Information Commission ordered the Supreme Court of India to disclose information pertaining to the decision-making process by the Supreme Court Column. The order was passed in response to a request made under the Right to Information Act 2005 by activist Subhash Chandra Agarwal. The Commission ordered the Central Public Information Office of the Supreme Court to disclose correspondence on the appointment of some Supreme Court judges. The Supreme Court in this case held that even the Chief Justice of India is answerable under the Right to Information Act, and any information based on the authority can be asked for and should be answered by the Chief Justice of India.
To set out a practical regime of right to information, to secure access to information under the control of public authorities, to promote transparency and accountability in the working of every public authority, to constitute the central and the state information commissions, to contain corruption and to hold government and its instrumentalities accountable to the governed, to preserve the confidentiality of sensitive information, to uphold the democratic ideals with an informed citizenry and transparency of information. The type of information which may be obtained is defined under Section 2F of the Act as any material in any form, including records, documents, memos, emails, opinions, advices, press releases, circulars, orders, logbooks, contracts, reports, papers, samples, models, data material held in any electronic form, and information relating to any private body which can be accessed by a public authority under any other law for the time being in force. As per Section 3 of the RTI Act, any Indian citizen can seek information under the Act. Any authority or body or institutions of self-government established or constituted by or under the Constitution of India, by law made by Parliament or state legislature, all bodies notified by the central or state government, including those bodies owned, controlled or substantially financed, and NGOs that are substantially financed by the government, whether directly or indirectly. Any information, disclosure of which would prejudicially affect the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security, strategic, scientific or economic interests of the state, relation with foreign state or lead to incitement of an offence, any information which has been expressly forbidden to be published by any court of law or tribunal, or the disclosure of which may constitute contempt of court, any information, the disclosure of which would cause a breach of privilege of Parliament or the state legislature, any information including commercial confidence, trade secrets, or intellectual property, the disclosure of which would harm the competitive person of a third party unless the competent authority is satisfied that larger public interest warrants the disclosure of such information. Any information available to a person in his fiduciary relationship unless the competent authority is satisfied that the larger public interest warrants the disclosure of such information. Any information received in confidence from the foreign government. any information the disclosure of which would endanger the life or physical safety of any person, any information which would impede the process of investigation or apprehension or prosecution of the offenders. Cabinet papers, including records of deliberations of the Council of Ministers, Secretaries, and other officers. Any information which relates to personal information, the disclosure of which has no relationship to any public activity or interest, or could cause unwarranted invasion of the privacy of the individual unless it is satisfied that the larger public interest justifies the disclosure of such information. Section 8 comes with another clause that provides a general exception to all the above exempted information. In Section 8, Clause 2 of the Act, it is stated that, irrespective of the provisions in Official Secrets Act 1923 or what is contained in Section 8, a public authority may allow access to information if public interest in disclosure outweighs the harm to the protected interests.
Filing an RTI. Every Indian should know about RTI filing. The process to file RTI is simple and hassle-free. The process for filing an RTI offline is as follows. First, identify the department in which you wish to file the RTI plea. Next, write the application or get it typed on a paper in English, Hindi, or in the official language of the state. Some states have prescribed format for RTI applications. In such a situation, address it to the Public Information Officer of the department concerned. The third step is asking questions. Ask specific questions by mentioning the year or the period in which the plea falls. See to it that the questions are clear and complete and not confusing whatsoever. In the fourth step, mention your name and contact details and also the address where you want the information or the response to your RTI to be sent. The final step is taking a photocopy of the application for your record. If you are sending this application by post, it is always advisable to send it via registered post. In case you are submitting the application to the Public Information Officer in person, remember to take any acknowledgement from him or her. And this step completes the process of filing an RTI. The RTI Act is people friendly, that if an illiterate person approaches a public information officer and wants some information under the RTI, then he or she can tell his or her requirements to the public information officer, and the officer is obliged to write it down for them and read it down before processing it. Central and few state government departments have facilities for filing online RTI. This online platform, that is onlinerti.com, has information about RTI filing for thousands of government offices across the country. Filing RTI through online is an easy 5-minute process. The process of filing an RTI online is as follows. Firstly, visit the RTI website and click on Submit Request button. A form will appear asking you to fill in necessary details such as department, contact details, and your address. After doing so, you can type in your request in about 3000 characters, and also you can attach a PDF file. Finally, you will get an acknowledgement with a registration number. Next, you can visit the RTI page to check the status of your request. Both these processes, online and offline, are simple, fast, and help people in getting the required information.
RTI Act mandates that any Indian citizen is free to seek any information from any public or government authority, and the authority is under liability to respond to such a request within a period of 30 days from the date of receiving such an application. However, the information sought must not be related to defense, national security, or personal details. Before the advent of the RTI Act, the disclosure of information in India was restricted by the Official Secrets Act and some other special laws. The RTI Act relaxed many such laws in the country. The RTI Act has also made it mandatory for computerizing the records for the purpose of widespread relay, so that any information sought by the public can be processed quickly, aided by the information categorization. The right to information in India has been mired with controversies, ranging from their use in political battles, asking for education degrees of political rivals,
or cases of blatant refusals to provide information on high-profile projects to allegations of misuse by civil society. The backlash against RTI by the state hampered the citizens' right to know. Scholars argue that the Right to Information Act's original intent to make government transparent and accountable is faltering as RTI requests are rejected and the bureaucratic system are bogged down by millions of requests. 60% of the RTI appeals made to information commissioners in Delhi are rejected for a variety of reasons, including that appeals are not typed or not written in English, or lack of index of the papers attached or a list of date. This bureaucratic barrier, worse for those without access to higher education or information, makes the right to information inaccessible. Many citizens have to seek out NGOs, RTI activists, or lawyers to file their RTIs. Activists view the Right to Information Act as a final liberation from British colonialism. They describe the RTI law as a tool for empowering ordinary citizens and changing the culture of governments by making it transparent, less corrupt, participatory, and accountable. Thank you.